Welcome to Onslow County Today. I'm your host, Lisa Whitman-Grice, and today we come to you from the Onslow County Museum. Today we're going to be talking with lots of guests about youth programming, resiliency, connection, empowerment, memory. We did not realize just how connected all of our storylines were until each of our guests arrived today and began sort of connecting off camera. We're going to be talking with Tondria Leach with the Onslow County Peers Program. We'll also visit with Nancy Seeley with the Onslow County Public Library. We'll introduce to you today Albertia Burgess with the Onslow County Cooperative Extension Program, Jason McCrae from Onslow County Park and Recreation, where they take fun seriously. And finally, we'll talk with Emily Baker, who curated this exhibit that we're visiting. Thanks as always for visiting with us on Onslow County Today. Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and joining us now is one of our favorite friends, Tondria Leach from Peers. Tondria, welcome back.
Thank you for having me again.
It is so good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. I understand you've been doing a little bit of recovery.
I have been. I've had my shoulder surgery and I'm doing good. I'm on the mend.
You're ready for the big leagues?
I am.
All right. Well, it's springtime.
Yes.
Right, spring training, so you're ready.
Coming out of that fog of the winter.
That is awesome. And you, Tondria, let me just say, that you always bring such an incredible level of love and enthusiasm to everything that you do. So thank you for coming out of the fog of the winter with that joy. We want to talk about what Peers is doing this spring. Okay. We want to start with first your TASCO group, and we want to remind our guests what that's all about and what it's doing, and then we're going to talk about your near and dear event, Cherish the Child.
Yes.
So let's start with TASCO.
So TASCO stands for Turning Adversity into Success for Children in Onslow. And this is a task force formed with the city and county government and local nonprofits. And we have over 40 agencies that are combined in this task force. And one of the things is that we're trying to eliminate child abuse and neglect through education and teaching everyone in the community, a parent, adult, caregiver. If you're an adult, we want to help. We want to be able to share the information about resiliency and ACEs and toxic stress. And so we're going to be doing those through community cafes.
Well, you know, we don't live in the past,
no.
But we carry some of that with us.
We do.
And certainly the last 2 years have conjured notions of toxic stress
for everyone,
and fear and uncertainty.
Yes.
And we've been home, so this is the time 2 years later as we sort of emerge from, as you said, the fog in the cave, to begin anew.
Yes.
And talk about these community cafes where you're shining a light on the need for child abuse prevention and how these community cafes work.
So our community cafes we're building 2 in every community that we go in. So the very first one, we're going to be doing a resiliency screening, and it's a video talking about what is ACEs, the adverse childhood experiences. And you give yourself a number. Everyone gives themselves that number off of a quiz per se. But just because you have a number, it doesn't have to define you. I have a high score, but it doesn't define me. I have resilience, and so we're going to be teaching about the resilience and what the toxic stress says. The things that affected us as a child results in future medical issues or future events that you may go through. One of the things for me personally is that I had a high score and I was a teen parent, which is one of the results. Heart disease could be one. Lung cancer, you would be amazed at the health dynamics that are associated with adverse childhood experiences. But it still doesn't have to define us.
It's happened. Perhaps we carry it in our literal genetic material.
Yes.
But you all, more importantly, teach skills
Yes.
for how to overcome those things. We're not all born resilient, but it can be taught.
It can be. And with our second community cafes in those same communities, we're going to be talking about coping skills. And then we're going to be doing like round robin tables so that we can have community discussions. And we're going to gather all that. We call it harvesting information. But we're going to gather all that information so that we can bring it back to the task force to say, this is what's going on in Onslow County. What can we do as a community to help our community as a whole? So they're going to be really interactive, full of information. We're going to have some giveaways and some refreshments, you know, because this is the South. We've got to feed some people.
There you go.
It's okay. But we're just going to have fun at the table and talking about the things that are important to families and professionals. It's not just open for the families in that specific community. Anybody can come to any of our cafes. We're just going to be locally done at different times and places throughout the community.
You know, you said something that resonated with me. You said, you know, this is the South. We're going to feed you as we bring you into these community cafes. But that's just a symbol of the hospitality and the nurturing that Piers brings to the community. And it's okay, because I think that you all recognize that we're all just doing the best we can do.
Amen. And as parents, it's not easy being a parent. I'm a parent of 3 boys. Parenting is hard, and we tell our parents that all the time when we're teaching parenting class. But it's okay. We can step up. We can change. We may have a bad moment one moment, but the next minute might be the greatest moment in the world with your child, and it's great.
Those moments are markers in our life, but they don't define us. Correct. They're all just moments. Yes. Now, one of the things that you all do in addition to TASCO is your Cherish the Child event, and
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
I'm so sorry.
Do you look? If
so
it
the
comes,
community cafes,
yes.
You can go on to the Onslow TASCO Facebook page to get the information, because our next upcoming one will be in Sneads Ferry. We'll have 2 there, and then we'll have it at the North Carolina Cooperative Extension. We'll have 2 there. And so the dates and everything, the Eventbrite, it's free. Anybody can come, but we just need a number so we can have enough food. So come on to the task force Facebook page or the Piers Facebook page and go ahead and register.
Okay.
For those.
Absolutely.
So that's great.
And we'll also sort of circle back.
Okay.
And get all that contact information for you. So don't forget TASCO, community cafes, learning about resiliency and the ability to move forward and learn every day. Yes. And then, of course, we move forward into April, and child abuse prevention, and Piers' wonderful Cherish the Child event. And so let's talk about April and what that means, because that's when we drive by Piers and we drive by DSS and we see the windmills, the
blue pinwheels,
the little blue pinwheels. This is a month where you all coalesce and you take a moment and reflect on everything that you do for child abuse prevention. Yes. So talk about it.
So, we're going to start out April with our Wear the Blue. On April 1st is Wear the Blue Day. Nationwide, everybody wear blue. Post pictures on our Facebook page, Instagram page, and on TASCO's Facebook page. Mark it all with blue. Any type of blue. I have a dark blue on today. You can have a light blue on. You can have royal blue. Any blue. Just wear blue. And it just signifies understanding that we are here together as a community, and we're wanting to have kids to have great childhood memories. We want the kids to have great relationships with their parents, and we want parents to have a happy time raising their children and making those memories with their kids. And so we're trying to be away from the child abuse and neglect, but in a positive way. Let's bring the sunlight out in, parenting and being together as a family.
Well, we all have days, we all have moments. Yes. And Piers is all about teaching people that we're not all perfect.
No.
We're not all perfect. We can't parent perfectly every day.
Correct.
And as you said, raising children is difficult.
It is very difficult.
And so you want to say, yes, it's difficult, but here are the skill sets, here's the support and the resources that you have to stop this epidemic.
Yes.
And that we want to protect our children.
And all of our programs at Piers does that, but in April, we celebrate our child care. Mostly. We do have our parenting classes and we do have our adolescent parenting program, but our child care program, in April, we highlight our child care program because it's a free program. All of our programs are free, of course, to anyone, but child care, you just sometimes need to get away from parenting. Let's be real, to have 4 hours away from your child to go and do absolutely nothing, or to go to the grocery store by yourself, or to go to the doctor by yourself, or just to go home and have a shower. Just to be alone. And so in April, we do our Cherish the Child event, fundraising event, to support our child care program.
Now, every year that Cherish the Child has a very special theme or feel to it. And this year, that event is going to be held also on April 1st?
April 1st. It's not an April Fool's joke, y'all. It is. Cherish the Child will be on April 1st.
Okay. And tell us the details.
So it's going to be held at the Discovery Church International.
Okay.
We're going to have live entertainment with Freeway. Mission Barbecue is providing the food. We'll have a wine bar. And we're going to have wonderful baskets, as we always, everybody loves our baskets at Piers. We overstuff them. But it's a silent auction. And then we'll also have a wine pool. So people are pulling for their wine. But someone's going to win a beautiful smoker this year out of the wine pool. And all the proceeds of this goes directly to fund our child care program so that we can keep both of our rooms open, both the infant and toddler room.
Fantastic. As you say, just being able to take a moment. We all need a moment. And you all provide that resource. And then the love that is showered upon those children at Piers in those child care centers. It's overwhelming. I think you could probably feel the love come out of that building that you all work in.
And my office is right between both rooms, and so I get to hear the babies cooing in the infant room, all the way to the toddlers learning about colors and numbers. You would think they're in a preschool setting the way our teachers are teaching in there. It's just wonderful to hear the kids being happy, seeing their friends come. And here lately we've had a lot of new children come to Piers, and we appreciate it, but they've not had socialization because of COVID.
Right.
So it's really hard. And so for them to just come for 4 hours a week, once a week, it's helping them to get socialized so that they can go into a preschool program or into kindergarten. And kids need that because a lot of children have been born in the pandemic and they don't know anything other than just their home.
That's right. This is a whole new day for them.
It is a whole new day, and they get to come out and they get to go outside and play and explore and be themselves, and it's wonderful.
Well, we want to know how, of course, we can register and RSVP to you and buy a ticket to go to Cherish the Child.
So our Cherish the Child, you can go on Eventbrite, but you would only be able to buy single tickets, which are $40. Or you can come by Piers or call Piers. We do accept credit cards even at Piers. And you can even buy a table for 8 people at a discount for $300 for 8 people to come.
Okay.
So it will be anytime. And anybody that wants to come by Piers, we welcome anybody to walk through if you're interested in our programs. Come by, we will walk you through the daycare out the back door. We'll show you all the rooms. It's okay. Because a lot of people are scared to say, I don't really need help, but I might need some information. And that's okay. I remember going to Piers at one time when Heidi Bauer was the director at Piers. And I said, Heidi, I just can't parent these teenagers. I can't do it. And she goes, well, Tondria, I'm not taking your kids, so this is what you're going to do. You're going to sign up for a class. And I signed up for a class. And I've been teaching at Piers ever since.
That is phenomenal. Talk about a long-lasting impact, a legacy.
Yes.
Now, we talked about, you mentioned Heidi.
Yes.
And this is an important year for Piers because you all are commemorating an anniversary as well.
Are. 45-year anniversary we're celebrating. So we're celebrating all year round, but we're hoping to have a birthday celebration in July because that's our official birthday month. And so there's going to be some cute little things that are going to go up in July for us.
And so what a great way to kick it off.
Yes.
Great way to kick it off with your Cherish the Child event. You've got your Tasco up and running, back in full force, being in different places in the community. The last thing we really want to know, Tandria, is how can we reach out to you? What's the best contact information and the best way to find out everything that Pierce and Tasco is doing?
Okay, so for Tasco, it definitely is our Facebook page.
Okay.
But if anybody wants to call me and talk to me individually, please call Piers at the 910-333-9725. I'm happy to talk to anyone in the community anytime. And also, Miss Katie can also talk to people. Katie and I can go out in the community and do resiliency trainings, darkness to light trainings. You know, any of these trainings that we're doing with Tasco, we can also do with Piers. And sometimes people don't want to go in a big community and they might want to work group at their offices or something, and that's great too. We also have for our anything Piers related, we do have our Facebook page. It is under construction. We have a new page that's going to be up and running next month, we're hoping. But until then, we have our old page still up, and it does have a list of like our parenting classes and stuff on there. Our social media, we do Instagram, Facebook. We have not done any YouTube videos lately, but we might have to do one for Cherish the Child and put it on our YouTube channel.
Okay.
And we also have a TikTok account. So I might have to get my staff to do a TikTok or two for Cherish the Child. They love doing those.
Okay, so social, call you directly.
Yes. Or stop by.
Or stop by
Yes.
and remind people where you are located.
We're located at 151 Cheney Avenue. It's right behind where the YMCA is now located.
Okay.
We have been there since the 80s, and it's a little white house. It's 2-story. It feels like coming back home. On April 1st, you're going to see all the pinwheels all over. We will do our video this year, and we'll post it on social media. Just because of COVID, we're not having that gathering again. We'll just do it on social media again. I think people like that, just to see the pinwheels, to remind them. Let kids have fun. People say, but kids are taking your pinwheels from your yard. They're kids. They're supposed to take the pinwheels. It's a great way to show them a great coping skill, let me tell you. You take that pinwheel and say, well, time out means you need to let your body rest, right? Blow on your pinwheel. And you're blowing on your pinwheel, and you're teaching them self-regulation.
There you go.
The most easiest thing you can do as a parent, teaching them to calm their bodies.
To calm their bodies.
And we have to remember that as adults too.
Well, Tandria, I always learn something new every time you're here. And thank you for the love and joy that you bring to what you do and for what you do for the children of Onslow County. We look forward to visiting with you a little bit later this spring and talking more about your birthday.
Thank you so much.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and welcoming back a friend we haven't gotten to visit with in a while, Nancy Seeley with the Onslow County Public Library. Nancy, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having us, Lisa.
You know, you and I used to get to visit with our friend Ophelia and talk about kids programming and
Yes.
summer reading, but you are here today because you are representing all 4 branches.
Correct.
And the whole spring.
Yes.
So we have a lot to visit about. And the first thing we want to talk about is with your spring schedule.
Yes.
The one thing you want people to always know is go to your website, go to Facebook, so that they're getting the most current information.
Correct. Correct.
Because you've got a lot going on,
Yes,
and
we
we all
do.
have to be ready to kind of bob and weave and be
Yes.
flexible, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So just to start off with, we have for Read Across America, where we're going to be partnering with One Place of Onslow County.
Okay.
And basically, we're going to be doing, on our Facebook, we're going to have programs, and in library programs, we're going to have crafts, giveaway, treats, lots of fun through the 6th of March.
Wow, okay, so Read Across America, partnering with our child advocacy group.
Yeah,
at
One Place, yeah, of
Okay.
Onslow County, yes.
Fantastic. So
Yes.
got that kicking off. And
Yes.
then, of course, you all have different book clubs for different ages at every branch.
Yes, so our regular monthly programs, which I'm going to start with the younger ones, in-person story time is back.
Yes,
Yay! In person, then we have preschool programs, which we have dance party, which at some of the branches, make sure you call your branch to see if they have a dance party. And main features, Little Explorers,
Yes,
which is based on STEAM.
Sure, so science and art education.
Yes.
Okay.
And for our age school group, we have Art and More. We have Buccaneer Juniors.
Yeah.
We have STEAM. We have so much, but the one favorite thing that we have coming up is the genealogy detective juniors. So,
fun. Okay.
Yes. So that is one of the things that they need to keep eye for it.
Okay. Well, I have to go back for just a second because it has been so great. We have our next door neighbors here at the Richlands Branch Library, and I love the sounds that come out of story time.
Yes.
And dance party.
Yes.
And we've memorized some of those songs
definitely.
over here at the museum.
Definitely.
So, if you don't know the Wiggles, you're just not cool.
Yes,
right?
definitely.
So that is great that is back.
Yes.
And then of course, all of your book clubs like your Buccaneers and then the Junior Genealogy, which I think is really just terrific.
Yes.
So fun for kids.
Yes. And then we have for our teens.
Yes.
We have book club for them. We have the Teen Advisory Board.
Yes.
We have Teen Volunteer Opportunity if they're looking to get SAT and National Honor Society. And one of the things that we're doing now using our teen volunteers is to do homework help.
Oh, awesome.
So we partner, we're looking for 10th to 12th graders, and we do make sure that they could help with that subject, and then we partner them up with anyone that needs help.
So that peer-to-peer support is fantastic.
Oh, it is awesome. I have parents that come to me and say, I can't do it. And as soon as we pair them up with a teen, it's just like totally different.
Math.
Yes, math, science, yes.
That is fantastic. And your teens, again here, I know what I see here in Richlands, and the amount of support that their teen volunteers give.
Yes.
And when the teens meet, there's always pizza.
Oh, definitely. We provide food for them. It's a great way, to give back to them what they're giving to us, and helping us implement programs for teens. It's not all the time we know what's cool.
Well, that's it. So your Teen Advisory Board is also that little bit of a window into their world and what they really, it's we can say, oh, we think you'd like.
Yes.
But like you said, we don't know. So it's best for them to bring that.
Yeah, and I totally appreciate just having them come to the library because for them, it's a place where they come not only to do homework, but to come and hang out with friends. And we want that for our teens, where it'll be a safe place for them.
Awesome. Well, and again, it's this idea of coming back and being able to be together, and the fact that they're reconnecting. That's what a great place and a great way to do that.
And there are a couple of things that I just want. We also have programs for the adult.
There you go.
I didn't want to leave the adults out. No. Okay. So we have date night. Yes, we have date night. We have health screening coming up. We have a cooking club. We have so much going, and Pinterest. So we have everything. We have stuff for everybody.
You do. I mean, when we think about visiting the library, it's gone are the days of the librarian who goes, shh.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
this is about engaging with our
Yes.
friends and our neighbors
Yes.
and our family.
Yes.
In completely new and innovative ways.
Yes, yes, yes. So it's important. It's important that we are a hub for the community.
Yes, absolutely.
And, you know, and for them to connect with us. When I started working in the library, I just thought it was all about books.
Right.
But working at Onslow County, it's something totally different. The questions that we have is just like mind-blowing, and they look for us to have the answers. So I think it's important.
Right, you're a resource. You're an important resource for people who need information, who need access to technology.
Yes, definitely.
Access to information.
Definitely.
And so, what a fantastic way to open back up fully and be here in the spring. Now we know, things are subject to change.
Definitely.
So we want people to remind, please, Nancy, if you will, remind folks how they can best reach you.
Well, they could either go on our website, Onslow County Public Library website, go to our event section. Some events don't require you to sign up, but some events do. If you tab on the link, it will take you to Sign Up Genius, where you could sign up. You could go on our Facebook, and there's an up-to-date of things that are going on, or you could stop at any branch and pick up a copy of the newsletter, our spring newsletter with everything that's going on.
Excellent. And the best part is, there is a library in every sort of corner of the county.
Definitely. And one of the things that I wanted to point out is May is Mental Health Awareness.
Yes.
We're having a mental health awareness for teens.
Oh, fantastic.
It's Saturday, April 14th, and it's going to be from 12 to 2. And basically what it's going to provide, and it's just not for teens, it's for parents too that's looking for resources on how to help their teens, or signs to look for. Sometime with the past couple of years, we've been through a lot.
Yes.
They've been through a lot, but they don't talk about it, they keep it inside. And it's important to not to ask them, but to just engage with them, see where they're at, because teens don't like to tell parents everything. So this is an important program that I feel like just getting that resources and educational information out there.
And Nancy, as a youth services programmer,
Yes.
It's not just about programs, it's about advocacy.
Yes.
And you are there for your kids.
We are all there for the kids, and it's important to be there for them.
Well, thank you for what you and your team all bring, and what all of the branch libraries and librarians and volunteers do for our community. Again, we're going to remind folks that they can go to your website.
Yes.
They can stop by any branch and pick up a newsletter.
Yes.
They can follow you on social, and they can reach out to you and find out everything that's going on at the library.
Yes. But stop by and pick up a
Just
newspaper.
stop by and say hey.
Yeah, or say hi, or get to meet all the programmers, everybody that works at the library.
Awesome. Well, we're glad that you got to visit with us today. It's so good to see you. And Nancy Seeley, thank you for what you do for Onslow County.
Thank you. Thank you for having us, Lisa. Thank you so much.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and we are welcoming a new face to Onslow County Today and to Onslow County, Albertia Burgess. Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Now, so we want our audience to know, what department have you joined us with?
I have most recently joined the Empowering Youth and Families program, which is a 4-H program hosted right down the street at our NC Cooperative Extension.
Fantastic. And that program is just something, we were just talking with Ms. Leach from Peers, and then we were talking with Nancy Seeley about resiliency and mental health, and in walks Albertia. And this is really the crux at what you all do, is creating connections with families, with children and parents. Talk about the Empowering Youth and Families program.
Yes, I was actually blown away at the alignment with all these different programs, but our program very specifically seeks to empower both the family and the child, so the entire unit. We focus on child development. We look at reflective listening, responsive parenting. We talk about adolescent development, and we also give both groups of the family unit an opportunity to kind of bond with other people. So the parents, they go into their own session, and the kids, they go into their session. So,
you know, we all bring skill sets to the table, and maybe that skill set and that dynamic doesn't work for every family. Maybe the way my parents parented, I think, oh, I'll just parent my children the same way. But individuals are individual.
yeah.
And so talk about some of the skills that you build in your program.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with us just, like you say, understanding that parenting is not really a traditional thing. It is unique to every family, to every child, to every parent. And what we promote mostly is you just finding what works well for you. You know, establishing boundaries and ways to respect everybody in the household, ways to get an idea what everybody brings to the table, and ways to value everyone. So it's a very empowering program. Lasts 10 weeks. We fellowship together at the beginning. We have a great dinner. And then at the end, we take all that we've learned and we push it into the community.
Wow, and that's just it. It's not about just in that moment of training those families. It's about taking it forward.
Yes, creating parental or family ambassadors to go out into the community and share the things that they've learned with us, with other families, so they can also be empowered.
What are some of the things that you do within your sessions, that you're planning for your sessions?
I don't want to spoil too much.
Okay. Just a few little, yeah.
We play a lot of games. We talk about, you know, the importance of doing things together and how when, even in the family unit, when we go separate, things fall apart. We look at the effects of different choices and how to make choices. We look at risk factors. And we do a lot of things that, well, in the end, we do things that deal with the brain and just kind of learning how development works. You know, what happens when you're an adolescent and when you become an adult and then when you're 40.
and beyond.
Right.
And that it's not the same. So we know that there have been studies that show that, you know, we say that you're an adult at 18. But not everything is fully formed, not
Right.
everything is, and the way in which our brains have developed have also changed.
Yes. And I think a lot of adolescents believe that 18 is that year of maturity, when in fact it is not. And we have a lot of growing to do. And those are things that often are under talked about.
Okay. So it's about recognizing and a lot of self-awareness, I'm imagining.
Yes.
And so that, as you said, that reflection, that looking inward, and then how does that work in our relationship building?
Right, and learning how to communicate appropriately. Responsive parenting is a big part of it because traditionally, a lot of us probably respond the way our parents responded. And we know it didn't work well for us. It's probably not working well for our kids either.
You mean because I said so isn't an appropriate answer?
I don't think so.
Okay, we're going to strike that from the right.
Right.
Exactly.
We're learning how to appreciate the opinions and the attitudes of everybody and how to use those to empower ourselves, because even though we don't always agree with people, we can always get something from them.
Well, you know, we can always learn something. We can gain a deeper appreciation for who they are as individuals. And, you know, and I also go back to the idea of language, in that language has changed.
Yes.
Word usage, how we identify and talk to one another.
Yes, I mean, culture, we very seldomly even discussed it when I was growing up. But now culture is a major part of almost every discussion. I mean, we have adult culture, we have adolescent culture, we have family culture. And so there's so many things to consider when you are talking about evolving and growing and developing with someone.
I am just so intrigued with what the outcomes then are, and what sort of things, I know you're new to the program, but I know in conversations with your colleagues at Extension, what then the families say post participation.
We communicate better. We enjoy each other better. We have increased the amount of time we spend together as a family. We appreciate speaking to others as a family. And those are the kind of things that we want to see. We want to see our families being empowered in the family rather than needing to seek so many outside resources. So we try to equip them with the tools they need to strengthen their own family units.
Those people that are in closest proximity that are there for you,
Yes.
how to be there for one another.
Right.
Now, if there are families out there who would like to participate, what's the best way for them to reach out to you and register for the program and learn more about it?
The fastest and easiest way is to follow us on Facebook.
There you
and
go.
we are at EYFP Onslow. So that's EYFP ONSLOW. And I keep it updated. All our forums are there. Our videos are there. You can keep up with what we're doing, and we would love to have you like and follow us.
That is phenomenal. Well, I am so thrilled to have you as part of our Onslow County team and to have as a resource. The most exciting thing that has happened today is, as our guests have traded places, if you will, the amount of exchange of information that has gone on.
Yes.
This has been a day of serendipity and synchronicity. So thank you for bringing that to the room today. I'm so grateful.
And thank you for having me. I was jumping up and down watching the other interviews.
Well, we're going to have you back. We're going to talk more about your program and how it progresses. And I would love for us to, in future visits, to share some of those things that we can all do. So bring a little bit of interaction to the program and some learning opportunities. So Albertia, welcome to Onslow County and welcome to Onslow County today.
Thank you so much.
Welcome back to Onslow County today, and joining us now is Jason McCrae. Jason, I would say that you are one of the most fun people I know. But you've just told me that not only are you fun, you are professionally fun.
Yes, ma'am.
You are officially, certifiably fun.
Absolutely.
Tell us about your new certificate that you've just received.
Yes, ma'am. So as of February 16th, I've become a certified Parks and Recreation professional.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
That is, congratulations. I know that is a lot of hard work.
Yes, ma'am.
And on top of that, we were just discussing you're also in a graduate program at NC State.
Yes, ma'am.
To get your master's degree in
Parks and Recreation.
In
Yes,
Park and
ma'am.
Recreation. I don't know where you just some secret elixir of energy and commitment, Jason. So thank you for that.
It's in the job. That's what we get. Every time we come to work, they give us a nice little bottle of, keep it going.
Keep it going.
Yes,
Well,
ma'am.
you know what it is. It's the energy that you all have for one another and the appreciation and that's what feeds you and fuels you. I see it. I see it when you all are together. So congratulations on
Thank
that
you, thank you.
certification.
I greatly appreciate it.
Now, that doesn't mean that you've just been hitting the books.
No, ma'am. No,
You
ma'am.
are busy, busy, busy.
Yes,
And we
yes.
want to talk about everything that's going on at Park and Recreation, where you take your fun seriously.
Absolutely.
And so the first thing we want to know about is spring programming for kiddos and families.
Okay. So I know we will be having our summer camp program that's actually going to start on March 1st. Registration opens March 1st.
Okay.
That's going to be at 5 different locations. We also have our Easter egg program. The Easter egg is going to be Easter extravaganza. That program will be on April 9th. We have our Pirate Fest, which is going to be May 14th. And then also we're going to have our food truck rodeo on May 1st.
So let's get our kiddos registered for summer camp, because those seats, which are about 55 seats per
Yes, ma'am.
camp, fill up fast.
Extremely fast.
I
yes, ma'am.
mean, you all book so quickly, and you're going to be at different sites like you always are around the county.
Yes,
Very
ma'am.
similar type programming, activities, field trips, fun, guest speakers, a lot going on, like it has been for better than 30 years now.
Yes, ma'am.
Going on with Park and Rec Summer Camp. Then a food truck rodeo. Now, where would that be located? Is that at your?
That food truck rodeo will be over at Onslow Pines.
Okay.
Yes,
all
ma'am.
right. Excellent. And then the Easter egg extravaganza, is that? Everywhere?
It'll be at 2 different locations. As of right now, we're going to have one down at Sneaks Ferry, so it'll be at Stumptown Park.
Okay.
And then the other one will be over at Onslow Pines Park as well.
Excellent. And I hear that Easter rabbit is going to make an appearance.
Well, so every year he tends to pop up. And I know it's a male because he has told me he's a guy.
Okay.
And it's extremely, extremely fun. For some reason, he enjoys dancing. I don't know why, but he loves to dance.
The bunny hop.
That is what I would think he would be doing, but he was out there doing some crazy dances last year.
Okay, he's stretched his repertoire a little
Yes,
bit.
ma'am. He is definitely learning, doing things with the kids. I had a whole bunch of pictures taken of him last year, videos and things like that. He was all over our Facebook page. I'm not sure who that gentleman is, or who that bunny is, but he definitely has a lot of fun.
That bunny. And then, of course, Pirate Fest, which is always a lot of fun.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
it's great to see that. And that always happens in Swansboro.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So the best part is, anybody who wants to know about all these fun events and about summer camp, you all have an awesome Facebook presence. You have an awesome website so they can visit those sites.
Absolutely. If you want to register, so any programs you want to register for, you just go to onslow.recdesk.com and you can see all of our programs. Or if you would like to, your Facebook person, you can go on our Facebook page and we post our flyers on there. We post any information and all information on there. We also go back and forth with parents, just letting them know if they have any questions or anything like that, concerns, they're more than welcome to send us an email as well as basically send us a Facebook message.
Fantastic. All right. And then we're just going to get down to Jason business here because, you know, in your role, youth athletics, community athletics is your world.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
you are busy.
Always. Yes, ma'am.
So let's talk about what's coming up for the spring for our families.
Okay, so right now we are actually in the midst of registration for baseball, softball, and t-ball. So registration will close by March 1st. Unfortunately, we have to close it early just because our whole thing is we want to make sure we get enough time to be able to play in our tournaments and things like that at the end of the season.
So we want our families to know as they're watching Onslow County Today this month, those things are
Registration is
closed.
correct, it's closed.
Registration is closed. But they need to be planning for next year, and
Correct.
that's how quickly that can go.
Yes, we will
All
open
right.
registration on the 1st of January every year, and then it'll be closed by the end of February.
Wow,
Yes,
wow.
it's very quick. Yes, ma'am.
But then the best part is those of us who are fortunate enough to live near county parks
Mm-hmm.
get to really listen in and hear those games going on.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's just great to hear. We see the lights from the fields, and Jason, you have to really speak to the fact that doing all of that, you've got a small team of dedicated folks who go from field to field to field and who make sure that everything's in its proper working order. I mean, talk about those folks who work on the behalf of these families.
Yes, ma'am. So we have what are called athletic coordinators. So our athletic coordinators are at each site. We have 5, well, for baseball, softball, and t-ball, we have 4 different sites for that. What will happen is our staff goes out, they line the ball fields, they drag the ball fields, they work hand in hand with our maintenance department. We have a lot of volunteers that actually help us out with these programs. And literally their job, role, and responsibility is just to ensure that the kids are able to play a safe and fun game that everyone out there loves, and just making sure that people are having a good time.
So kudos to them for
Absolutely.
really helping this be possible for
Absolutely, yes,
these
ma'am.
children. Now you've got that, so we're registered, we're out there, we're playing. It's springtime, so it's time for
All
spring
right.
for t-ball, baseball, and softball.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you've got some special events and competitions.
Yes, ma'am. So what we're going to do for March, and again, registration is already closed at this point.
Right.
But if, let's say, parents just want to get out of the house and actually just see some good basketball games, for the month of March, just in the beginning, starting on March 4th through the 6th, we're going to have the county tournament. That's a county basketball tournament. It will be hosted at 2 different sites, but really it's one district that's hosting, that Swansboro district. So what it will be is it'll be our girls ages 8 through 18 and boys from 8 through 18 as well. They'll be playing in 2 different districts, and then we'll be crowning the county-wide champion in that tournament. The winners of that tournament will have the distinct pleasure of going over to represent Onslow County in the SWAC tournament. SWAC stands for Statewide Athletic Committee. That is a Parks and Recreation run organization that it literally allows all youth and teams from across the state to be able to participate in a recreation-based basketball tournament.
Fantastic. And these are kids who, you know, they're going to play here locally, they're going to compete, and then the champions here then go and compete statewide. And, you know, there's a chance that these may be kids who might see some of these other children, you know, students, when they get to college. They're going to grow up together playing against one another.
Yes, ma'am. We'll go from our county tournament, and once we finish with the county tournament, that's going to be on the weekend of the 5th, so it'll be 4th, 5th, and 6th. The weekend of March 12th is our cheer competition. So we have something for our girls as well. They have 2 different programs, so they'll be able to play basketball as well as they'll be able to go into the cheer competition. Cheer competition will start, it'll be over at Swansboro High School. So they'll participate at Swansboro High School. Great venue. The school is immaculate. It's a gorgeous school. But they'll play there. And then the part that is really the, I guess you would say, the driving force behind our tournament is going to be the SWAC tournament. We're going to be hosting this year. We're setting records because we've never hosted this many tournaments before. We're hosting 10 tournaments.
Okay.
Throughout the entire county. So we will be hosting over at Dixon Middle School, Swansboro Middle School, Hunters Creek Middle School, Southwest Middle School, and Trexler Middle School. Those are our 5 locations that will be hosting our SWAC tournament.
Okay. Wow.
And it's 2 weekends. Yes, ma'am.
So 2 weekends, people coming from
all over the state.
All over the state, converging here on Onslow County.
Yes, ma'am.
But that also means eating in our restaurants,
Absolutely.
staying in our hotels,
Yes, ma'am.
shopping, hanging out, and bringing their families to Onslow County from all over the state of North Carolina.
Absolutely. We're looking at, hopefully, how I see it, we're looking at about 126 games that we're going to be hosting over the course of 2 weekends. Yes, ma'am.
That is incredible. And the logistics, Jason, how you keeping everybody straight?
Well, it's a reason why I'm going to NC State. Okay. And then also just, I have, as you said before, I have a great team. So my director is definitely on board. She helps me in supporting me, as well as we have Miss LaQuisha as well. So she helps as well. So it's just a team effort, just trying to make sure that we all balance everything to ensure that we get everyone in here. I have to send out packets to every team, letting them know what our area consists of, what driving locations, just restaurants, anything and everything you can think of. I send all that information out, and again, our team works diligently trying to ensure that everything is correct before we send it out.
A lot of moving parts.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
But when it all comes together, how great it's going to be for these young people who are competing, and you make it run smoothly. As you know, a parent of an athlete who would have to go to tournaments, just knowing where someplace to grab dinner is a huge help.
Absolutely.
So thanks for putting all that together, Jason.
Anytime. I enjoy it.
Now, you've got these tournaments, you've got your spring events, you've got summer camp, and we want people to know the best way to find all this out. Because, you know, things happen and we want to make sure we're getting the best, most current information.
Absolutely.
How can we do that?
The best way to get information from us will be checking our Facebook page, which is Onslow County. Onslow County Parks and Recreation Department. You can find us on Facebook, or if not, you can reach out to our department by phone call, email, or anything of that nature, just to make sure that, again, if anything that you might see that isn't posted, it means that we're going to be posting it, because again, we're a small team, but we definitely do want to make sure we get the word out to anyone and everyone.
Well, Jason, thank you for everything that you do. We're going to be on the lookout this spring for all these kids and that rabbit. We'll be on the lookout for that rabbit as well. Jason, thank you for everything you do, and good luck. And as you finish out graduate school as well, and congratulations on your certification.
You're welcome, and thank you so very much for having me.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and joining us is Emily Baker, Onslow County Museum Collections Manager. Emily, thank you. Thank you for being, and thank you for having us today.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Very exciting.
So we've had you on Onslow County Today in the past, and that was in your capacity as museum educator. But as of late last summer, you became our new collections manager.
I did.
And please share with our viewers, what does that mean? Because sometimes people think that you're the person who's supposed to be up front, taking admissions. But talk about what collections really means to the museum.
So collections is the stuff that we have. So the artifacts, objects, items, things that people donated to the institution, to the museum. The collections manager is about taking care of those items and presenting it in exhibit form, like what you see here, and just kind of curating the story of Onslow County.
And taking all of these things and telling a story is quite an undertaking.
Yes.
And this is your first official exhibit as collections manager. Tell us about Inside Out.
So Inside Out is all about the collections. It's all about the things that we have and the story behind it. So who are the folks that decided to donate these items and why? And how does that item tell the story of the county and the people that live here? And this exhibit does that. And we have all different types of objects in collections in the space, and we wanted to represent all of those things. We wanted people to be able to see these things because we get a lot of questions, and they see our main exhibit and they say it's wonderful, but is this everything? No, it's not. So this exhibit is a way to show all of the things that we do have. So we have essentially a stand and an exhibit space for all of these items, and they're going to be rotating. So we're going to go shelf by shelf by shelf in the permanent, in where the collection space is, bring out these items and exhibit them for a time, and then we'll put them away. And then we're going to bring out more. And so it's always going to be rotating. So if folks come in 1 month, next month they come back, it's going to be completely different. So they're always going to see something new every time they come.
Well, we joked about 6 months ago as we were preparing to reopen. We'd been closed for so long, pardon me. And we joked for a short time that maybe we could just cut a hole in the window and peek in. But instead, you're bringing everything out, rotating it in and out.
Right.
As you've been in this job for just, not quite 6 months now, what has surprised you most about the collection? As you've opened boxes, there's always a moment of, oh, wow, even for you who works here.
Yes. That is a perfect saying. Opening a box and seeing something, it's so neat. I was opening a box up the other day, and it was a 1930s styled bathing suit, a child's bathing suit, and I said, "Oh, that is such a cool piece. I want to exhibit it." And it'll get its moment to shine, but it's just these little things that until we peel back the boxes and we see, or peel back the tissue paper and we really start digging and looking, there's so many cool items that we have that people gave to us, and this exhibit is just going to show that.
The depth and layers.
Yes.
You mentioned a bathing suit.
Yes.
And one of the things that we do here is we plan our exhibits 5 years in advance. So we know what we're doing for the next 5 years. And the bathing suit is really kind of important to the next exhibit. And we want to put a little plug in so people will be thinking about what they might want to donate to the museum. Tell us about what's coming up. So far, people will think, what are they planning in 2024? But we have to start collecting now and planning now.
Yes. So one of the first collections that I processed or did an inventory on was essentially a clothing collection from a local teacher. Her name was Miss Martha Maddox, and one of the items that I found was a 1950s styled bathing suit. And it was just, again, it was one of those moments. Oh, this is so cool. We have to let people see this. And in our collection, that's one of the things we don't really have a lot of. So being to kind of get that is exciting.
Right.
And that kind of jump started well, why not do an exhibit on fun in the sun, right? And do something about beach culture in Onslow County and leisure. We haven't really done something like that. And this is going to be a way to say, hey, if you guys have something, and it doesn't have to be super old from the 40s or 50s. It can be things from the 70s, from the 80s, surfboards, boogie boards, bathing suits, anything having to do with water sports or, like I said, beach culture, leisure, those types of enjoyment. We would love to be able to exhibit them for that exhibit in 2024.
Well, I know that, one of the things, and you mentioned it doesn't have to be old.
No.
Right? So one of the things that I know a lot of our visitors think is, oh, well, everything you have here must be antique. It must be 50 years old, 75 years old. But you have to collect not just for things that have happened, you're collecting for the future as well.
Yes. Thinking, I recently donated something that I had in high school. Now, granted, it wasn't too long ago.
Right.
But I have to think about, well, in 50, 75 years from now, that's going to be quote unquote old. It's going to be something that maybe people my age then would want to see. So we have to kind of think about these things as a community and be able to represent that.
And represent the entire community.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, last but not least, one of the things you talk about in the exhibit is how we actually care for objects and the details of how we actually preserve them. Talk a little bit about the amount of information that you've gone through because of the variety of artifacts. You can't care for every artifact in the same way.
Oh, no. That is something that I have been very diligent about because we want to care for everything that we have in the proper way. So something like Miss Martha's bathing suit, it's not going to be cared for in the same manner as something that we have for food service, like a pressure cooker. It's not going to be kept in the same way. It's not going to be preserved in the same way. So learning all of the little minute details of how to care for different items on such a vast level is something that's very important, not just to our institution, but as a profession as a whole. Caring for these items and making sure that they last for as long as possible is important.
Now, Emily, you mentioned that things are going to rotate in and out, that when you come back every month, you'll see something new. How long will the exhibit be open?
A whole year.
Okay, wow, okay.
A whole year, yes. So that way we'll be able to hopefully show everything that we have in our collections, in our holdings, so that everybody can get a chance to see everything that we have.
Awesome. Well, it's going to be exciting. Remind folks how they can learn more about the museum, address, telephone number, and sending them to any kind of resources.
So our physical address is 301 South Wilmington Street in Richlands. You can always call us and get directions or for any kind of questions about programming or the exhibit, what we've got going on. And our telephone number is 910-324-5008. And they can always find us on Facebook or even our Onslow County Museum website.
Well, fantastic. Thank you for all the hard work. Thank you for bringing the museum collections out so that we really turn the museum
inside out.
Thank you, Emily, and we look forward to visiting with you more.
Thank you.
Thank you as always for joining us for Onslow County today, and a very special thank you to each of our guests. Tondria Leach with Peers, Nancy Seeley with the Onslow County Public Library, Abersha Burgess with Onslow County Cooperative Extension, Jason McCrae with Park and Recreation, and Emily Baker with the Onslow County Museum. All of these folks represent what Onslow County means to us, and that's folks who work on our behalf. We are so grateful to them, and we are grateful to you for joining us for Onslow County Today. We'll see you next time.